Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mutiofa Hakman. I'm from English Education Study Program Class A. So I will read the text with the title, Looking at the Link Between Parents' Educational Backgrounds and Students' English Achievement. This study investigated the link between parents' educational background and students' English achievement at one senior high school in Palembang, South Sumatra, Indonesia. 108 senior high school students were involved in this study. Data were collected through a parent's educational background questionnaire and an English test. Descriptive statistics, present product moment correlation, and regression analysis were employed to analyze the data. The result of the present product moment correlation coefficient revealed that parents' educational background significantly correlated with the students' English achievement. Additionally, the result of the linear regression analysis indicated that there was a correlation between parents' educational background and student English achievement. Although the contribution was small and there were other factors that contribute to the students' academic achievement, parents' educational background is important in supporting their children's English achievement. Education is essential for the development of society. The more educated the people of a society are, the more civilized and well-disciplined the society might be. Education is also a primary need in this era of globalization. Education gives insight, grooms the personality, inculcates moral values, adds knowledge, and provides skill for people who will live in a very competitive society. In very few highly qualified people are needed. However, there are several studies focusing on the problems of education in Indonesia, including Mukminin Lestari, Afifa Rahmadani, and Hendra 2017 and Musyadat 2013, who argue that there are some problems of education in Indonesia, including curriculum, budget, quality, purpose of the education, national examination, and learning facility. These kinds of problems have influenced the quality of education both in national and in international levels. For example, although since 1995, Indonesia has taken part consistently in every round of trend in international mathematics and science study, the results have not been satisfactory. Of the 38 countries participating in 1999, Indonesia ranked the 34 and the 32 in math and science respectively. In 2003, performance in math increased to 411 while the science score slipped to 420. The reverse occurred in 2007 with math and performance decreased to 397 and science improved to 427. Scores in both math and science fell in 2011 to 386 and 406 respectively. In 2015, math performance increased to 397 while science performance decreased to 397. The result of Indonesia's participation in TIMSS have implied that the quality of education should become the responsibility of all parties including government, school, and family. Family is one of the important factors in supporting the education of their children. As a unit of society, the family is obviously a major socializing agent, so that it is important in determining the child motivation to achieve success. Mainly, family has responsibility for socializing children for making them productive members of society. The more the parents are involved in the process of imparting education to their children, the more the children might excel in their academic career and to become productive and responsible member of society. Additionally, parents' personal educational background and economic backgrounds have a significant effect on their children's education. It means that parents' educational background plays an important part in their children's education. The education received by the children depends very much on the education that their parents have. In relation to education, English is one of the compulsory subjects in Indonesia's educational system. The internal and external factors, for example, tend to influence the learner's English achievement. Yagobi and Rasoli, 2015. Furthermore, data from Education First English Proficiency Index also show that the average score of Indonesia's English proficiency was 52.74 and labeled as a moderate proficiency level. This score has placed Indonesia in the 28th rank out of 63 countries in terms of index that compares the average English language ability in different countries. The data indicate that English proficiency in Indonesia is still lower than the other countries. However, learning English is not an easy process. There are some problems or difficulties in learning English. In their study, Abrar, Mukminin, Habibi, Ashrafi, Makmur, and Marzulina, 2018, and Mukminin, Muazza, Hustarna, and Sari, 2015, found that the problem in learning English such as teacher competence, student lack of English foundation background, student lack of confidence in appropriate curriculum, unmotivated and encourage and get learning strategy, not practice speaking English with English native speaker and class environment. Some researchers have previously explored parents' educational background and student English achievement. For example, Apriana 2015 found that parents' educational background was significantly correlated to students' English achievement, though the correlation was weak. Also, Carnegie 2010 found that there was a strong correlation between parents' educational background and students' English achievement. Snabel, Alfeld, Eccles, Kohler, and Baumer 2002 found that a significant positive correlation existed between parents' education and student achievement. It can be concluded that the results of those studies are still inconsistent. Additionally, RIP 2017 found that there was no significant relationship between parents' occupation and educational background and student achievement in learning English. The findings of the previous studies on the link between parents' educational background and student English achievement are still mixed. The current study investigated the correlation between parents' educational background and student English achievement at one senior high school in Palembang, South Sumatra, Indonesia. Two research questions guided this study. First, is there any link between parents' educational background and student English achievement of the 12 grade students at one senior high school in Palembang, South Sumatra, Indonesia? And second, does parents' educational background influence students' English achievement of the 12th grade students at one senior high school in Palembang? Literature review. Parents' educational background refers to parents' highest education. That means the highest level of education attained by parents. International Standard Classification of Education from UNESCO in 2011 has grouped 9 levels of education. They are early childhood education, primary education, lower secondary education, upper secondary education, post-secondary non-tertiary education, short cycle tertiary education, bachelor or equivalent level, master or equivalent level, doctoral or equivalent level. Parents with higher level of education are also more likely to believe strongly in their abilities to help their children learn. Highly educated parents have greater success in providing their children with the cognitive and language skills that contribute to early success in school. Selpam 2013 also adds the relationship of parent education to their children's achievement. Motivation in academic area is mediated by parents' belief and behavior are likely to be influenced by their educational experience and how these parental beliefs and behavior actually influence children's achievement motivation in academic era. Additionally, family characteristics such as parental income, education, and family size seem to be connected to students' achievement. In terms of student achievement, Algarabel and Dasi 2001 state that achievement is the competence of a person in relation to a domain of knowledge. Additionally, Sukmadinata 2007 state that achievement of students could be seen from mastering the subject that they have taken up. Achievement refers to the good result from learning. In addition, English achievement has a strong relation with the academic achievement. English achievement means the competency that is achieved by the students in English subject. Being well-educated parents give benefit for their children. In TOES 2008, state that parents could serve as good role model by being conscientious, ambitious, and methodical, all of which will contribute to make their children more successful and at school. Moreover, educated parents can provide their children with guidance to get good information at home. Kunla, Mehta, Gokhale, and Berhanun 2012 found that educated parents had more attention to the facility used by their children related to their study, especially in learning English. Students from good socioeconomical and high parental educational background have good chance for getting admission in good professional course. Parental educational level also determine the facilities and the cultural level of the home. Udoh and Sani 2012 claim that educated parents often get a better job. Those with their income, they are better prepared to give educational material for their children. In other words, this suggests that students give educational manage to support their learning with good educational materials because they have parents who can provide them with educational supporting materials that they need, including in learning English. Methodology. In this study, we use a correlational approach to find out the link between parents' educational background and students' English achievement. The first producer was we identify the parents' educational background by using educational backgrounds questionnaire, and the second procedure was we gave the student tests of TOEFL. The next step was we analyzed the link between the two variables through SPSS based on the result of the educational background questionnaire and the TOEFL test. 108 senior high school students were involved in this study. Data were collected through a parent's educational background questionnaire and English test. Data collection and analysis. In this study, we used the questionnaire and a test as the instrument to gather the data concerning the link between parents' educational background and student English achievement of the 12th grade students at one senior high school in Palembang, South Sumatra, Indonesia. To obtain the information about parents' educational background, we used the questionnaire from UNESCO 2011, which was adapted by Apriana 2015. The highest education, the questionnaire consisted of parent educational background, which was related to parents' highest education. The questionnaire asked about the level education was of father and mother of the students. In scoring parents' education background, the student picked one of their parents' educational background levels, including early childhood education, primary education, lower secondary education, upper secondary education, post-secondary non-tertiary education, short cycle tertiary education, bachelor or equivalent level, master or equivalent level, and doctoral or equivalent level. The score was from 0, 0 until 8. The highest level educational is the highest score is. A higher score indicates a higher degree of educational background level. To obtain the student's English achievement, we use TOEFL Junior Test. The purpose of TOEFL Junior Test is to provide an objective measure of the degree to which students in the target population have attained proficiency in the academic and social English language skills. The designer of the TOEFL Junior Standard Test asserts that the TOEFL Junior Standard Test is an English proficiency test that is not based on or limited to any specific curriculum. There are 3 sections: reasoning, structure, and reading. Each section contains 42 4-choice questions with a total testing time of 1 hour 55 minutes. TOEFL Junior Test scores are determined by the number of questions that a student has answered correctly. There is no penalty for wrong answer. The category of the result of the test is grouped into very good, average, poor, and very poor. In terms of correlation and regression, it was necessary to know whether the data were normal for each variable and linear between 2 variables. In the study, normally test was used to find out whether the data of educational background questionnaire and TOEFL Junior tests were normal or not. We used I-sample Kolmogorov, Smirnov, and SPSS. If p-value is higher than 5, then it was normal and vice versa. In this study, linearity test was conducted to know whether the data of educational background questionnaire and TOEFL Junior tests were linear or not. If the score was higher than 0.05, the 2 variables were linear. Linearity test in SPSS was used to see if the data were linear or not. After getting the result of educational background questionnaire and TOEFL Junior test of students, we use person product common correlation covariance to find out whether or not there was a correlation between the variables. The interpretation of coefficient correlation was to find whenever percent R is higher than 0.34. Regression analysis was used to find out whether or not parents' educational background influenced students' English achievement. We identify the influence of variables by using the result of R-square. Simple regression analysis was used to measure two variables, the score of parents' educational background as a dependent variable and student English achievement as dependent variable was calculated by SPSS. Finding and discussion. 108 students participated in this study. The descriptive statistical analysis of parent educational background for the participant indicated that the maximum score was 8 and the lowest score was 1. The mean score of parent educational background for the participant was 5.05 and the standard deviation was 1.588. This mean score indicates that the level of parent educational background of participants in short cycle tertiary education, D2 or D3. It was revealed that from the questionnaire, the level of parents' educational background were all perceived by the student with different number primary education was as the least perceived level and bachelor or equivalent level was most perceived both father and mother educational background categories. The descriptive statistical analysis of English achievement for the participant indicated that the maximum score was 79 and the minimum score was 10. The mean score of English achievement for the participant was 47.02 and the standard deviation was 17.739. This mean score indicated that the level student English achievement of participant is very poor. For each category, 13 students had a good English achievement, 19 students obtained an average English achievement, 5 students had a poor English achievement, and 71 students had a very poor English achievement. The result of normally test and linear test. Correlation between parents' educational background and student English achievement. Conclusion. The current study investigated the correlation between parents' educational background and student English achievement at the senior high school in Palembang, South Sumatra, Indonesia. Based on the result of the present study, we found that parents' educational background were significantly correlated with student English achievement with R 420, and the category of correlation was fair. Additionally, the linear regression analysis showed that parents' educational background 17.6% significantly influence the dependent variable student English achievement. In short, the total contribution of parents' educational background and student English achievement show a significant link, although the contribution was small, suggesting that there were other factors that could contribute to their students' English achievement, such as school, teachers, friends, and environment. I think enough for today. Thank you for your good attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.